What is up, everybody? Stick Figure here with another microphone review. And this one is an odd one. I am quite excited about this. Like most people do, I browse eBay just looking for odd, weird, and old microphones that are cheap because they don't really have much practical use. Uh, and I just simply want to add them to my collection, not because I'm likely to use them much ever, but just because I like microphones. I love learning about them and seeing them, and especially the older ones, just because they were so odd and specialized back then, but also many of those same strange ones were also quite affordable. So I'm always on the hunt for these odd, weird microphones. And today's is the Sony electret-condenser ECM-95S. I picked this one up, like I said, on eBay, fairly cheap. But before we get into the microphone, I just think it'd be good to go over a brief description of the difference between what is normally considered a condenser microphone versus what an electret condenser is, which you don't see too much anymore advertised, at least. I mean, they are still very much in use, but not in many microphones that you can just go to the store and buy. An electret condenser microphone uses similar technology to a condenser, but the difference is while a normal condenser needs phantom power to power the electricity between, the capsule so it can record, an electret condenser has what is essentially like an electrical magnet in there that is providing constant power to the capsule to allow it to record. Because of that, though, they often have a built in amplifier because the signal is so weak. And that amplifier needs power. Now, oftentimes these old microphones will need a battery, and even more often, it needs a weird, strange battery that has been produced in decades. Luckily, this microphone only needs a double A, and I've already installed it just to make sure it fits into that we get power and any kind of sound out of it before I went through the whole process of making this video. Now, I did do some sleuthing around the internet to find out info on this, and I really could not find almost anything. I mean, I found a few other people selling them, but they didn't have much info on them either. The only thing I could find, which we'll get into more later, is that this was designed to be used with a tape player, most likely a reel to reel, but possibly also high end cassette players. Now, as you probably saw, mine did come in the original packaging, and it is simple, but it looks nice. It looks well made. I mean, it's plastic, but it has a good look to it. It reminds me of, you know, Radio Shack microphones, even up until they went out of business. Look, the microphone cases look like this. And it did come with the original manual, which I will scan and upload and have here. Pretty simple manual by the looks of it. I was confused though when I was first looking at the specifications about what kind of battery to use. It kept asking for a UM3 battery, which I'm not personally familiar with, but found out that's just what the AA batteries are usually, or at least used to be, but sometimes still referred to in Japan. So it makes sense that's what it was asking for. But it just needed a AA battery. So I had some laying around in my office and I threw one in it. Now to pull out the microphone. And this is it. This is the Sony ECM-95S microphone. And I think this is a beautiful microphone. I mean, it's just gorgeous. I mean, look at that. It's a good looking microphone. I love the accent of like the swirl into the, aluminum on over the capsule. It's got a simple switch, just very well designed. You could tell somebody spent some time making this microphone look good. First thing that pops out to me is there would be no easy way of putting this in any kind of mount. So I think we can make the assumption it was basically designed to only ever be handheld, which is totally fine. I mean, that's a cool look, you know. Yeah, I love this. I might, put this up somewhere in my office just as decoration for now when I'm not using it to record, depending on how good it sounds. Who knows? This might be my new go-to. But if not, I love it. Now look, it is wired, which is good because not a lot of times, sometimes these older microphones I've got that are specialized, I get in the mail and turns out they were wireless to some weird old receiver that's a bajillion dollars to get, and who knows if it'll work. So it is wired, which is great. And the weird thing though is the connector. Now, when I first opened this up, I thought it was two 1/8-inch connectors, which would be weird, but I guess maybe, I don't know, who knows. But that's what I thought. But upon looking closer, only one of these is an 1/8 inch. The other one is a TS connection. It's got a tip and sleeve, but it's not your standard connector. It's slightly smaller. And that is one of the few things I did find when looking this microphone up online. This would be designed to plug into the side of the tape player. The 1/8 inch would be the audio output of the microphone that would go into the microphone input of the tape recorder. And this smaller weird one would go into the remote input of the tape recorder. And it would allow for more usability and communication between the microphone itself and the tape player, which is pretty cool. And I actually do have a nice reel-to-reel. However, I don't currently have any tape in good enough condition to record to. I do have some tape, but I may need to bake it to get it into any kind of state that would be usable so that it wouldn't break or just sound awful. And it does have some really noisy amplifiers, and I plan on getting that fixed some point in the future. So if that happens, I may do another follow-up video of using this microphone with that to see how that communication would go to the remote input, which would be cool. Now, let me get this hooked up into my interface, and we will begin testing out how it actually sounds. So be right back. Now, the way I did get this into my computer, I should say, is I did that 1/8 inch output into the line input of my interface. And the interface I am using is the Apogee Duet Firewire, which I have another video going over how I got that old interface to work with a modern Mac right up here if you want to take a look at it. Love that video. I had so much fun making it. But that is what I'm using, and I just use the amplifier in the interface to get this up to a level where I could record. It did take quite a bit of amplification to get to a level that was similar to what I am getting out of this Aston Stealth broadcast microphone. I should say that is what I'm recording with throughout the first half of this video, and then right now this is an Aston Stealth. It is dynamic, but it has a built-in phantom-powered preamplifier, which is pretty cool. It's a pretty cool microphone. I have another video also about my equipment right up here if you want to learn more about this particular microphone. But we're not here to talk about the Aston. We're here to talk about this super cool old Sony. So how does it sound? It does have the on-off switch. Let's get it turned on. And this is me talking into it. And it does have a pretty good sound to it. Pleasantly surprised. It does have quite a bit of noise. I will leave that in when I would usually edit it out, but I am getting really good proximity effect with this microphone currently. It feels cool, honestly. This is a cool feeling microphone to be talking into. I feel like one of those like British sports announcers that has to have the microphone like right up on the lips. Like I think it's called a lip ribbon microphone is what those are. I'd love to get one of those one day. But that's what it feels like. I'm talking into it, and I don't know. It's just got a good vibe to it. It is bassy, but it's not. It doesn't cut out too much of the high end. I don't know. Let me know what you think in the comments. But I am very pleasantly surprised. I could see me using this. I would have to figure out some kind of way to mount it, I think, at least for how I, the kind of videos I normally make. It would benefit being something where I could I could have it without having to hold it. Now, let's see. As you could probably see earlier, there is, on the back there, you can see where microphones need that kind of space to sound good. I didn't take acoustic classes, but I know that's something that, capsules need. But other than that, it is hard plastic on the top and metal on the sides. That's what it sounds when you hit it. Oh, the noise went up when I did that. That was weird. Like, not just when I hit it, but like it sustained up. Strange. But let's talk into it from the side. This is me. It does have pretty good noise cancellation on anything but the sides. I mean, this is a cardioid microphone, and it just started making a lot of noise. That's no good. Why did it do that? Let me see. Did the cable come loose? It was the cable. So it looks like there might be a loose connection there. I could rewire it if that, were to become an issue, but I just, jiggled it and it got better. So from the side, it cuts out pretty good. From the top, fantastic. This is what it sounds like from the back. Almost no sound. And the noise is back. Yeah, so it does seem to it's showing its age. It's showing its age with that. But otherwise, like I said, let me know what you think in the comments. What do you think of this microphone? I think it's super cool. I am so surprised by it. And I'm looking forward to going back and editing this and playing around with, cutting out some of the noise and seeing what it would sound like compared to some of my other modern microphones, like this Aston, like my Blue Spark back there, and even to the Temu U87 I got recently. Who knows? But, it is Sony. I wouldn't expect them to make crap. They make good products. I really like everything, basically, that Sony makes. That's what my TV is, my receiver, my speakers. I'm a big fan of Sony, so it makes sense to me that even a 40, 50-year-old microphone from them would sound great. So this has been the Sony ECM-95S. And I will see you all soon, probably with another microphone review. I have a ton of old microphones that I picked up over the pandemic, and I am looking forward to making a video like this for all of them. So thanks again for watching. Like and subscribe, but especially if you want to see more weird microphone reviews, I will be making them. So talk to you soon. Take care. Goodbye.